If I'm not mistaken, you're a type of person who watches motivational content, gets fired up for a few days or maybe a few hours, but at the end of it all, you lose that drive and that motivation to go ahead and chase your goals and make something out of your life. Well, let me tell you, you're not alone, because the majority of people who use the internet find motivational content on platforms like this, like my videos or other people's videos, or maybe you watch something from Andrew Tate, Iman Gaji, and you get that fire in your heart to build something of your life and to leave your current financial situation and build the life that you have always wanted. But inevitably, after a few days or maybe even after a few hours, you start to feel demotivated. You no longer have your phone where you're watching all of these videos. But at the end of it all, you don't even feel as motivated as you did when you were watching the video. I struggled with this problem for a very long time during my entrepreneurial journey. The hardest part about being an entrepreneur is getting the work done. And if you need the motivation to start working and to start moving the needle forward, it means that you need a stronger why towards why you are being an entrepreneur, why you are doing what you are doing. You need to have a more solid reason to want to work very hard. What is it that pushes you to want to work hard, to want to do better? You need to look deep within yourself and ask yourself, why is it that I wake up and I say I have to do this particular thing? Why is it that I have to do this particular thing rather than just go have some fun or scroll on TikTok? You need to ask yourself this. And I know a lot of wishy-washy videos on YouTube talk about why you need to have a strong why. But really, I want to plant a concept into your head. When you watch motivational content, you get fired up, right? You get that fire blood to want to achieve more and do something with yourself. But the way the brain works, as time goes, you start to forget that that's what you actually wanted. But now, when you forget, you start to ask yourself why you're doing this in the first place. And that's how you find that instead of working, you end up just, slacking around, lazing around, because you don't find much purpose in what you are doing. But now when you find that significant purpose in what you're doing, you find that strong why, right? Like, for example, I'm up here, this is 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm recording this video so I can put it to my YouTube channel. Now, the reason why I'm not cozied up at 5 a.m. trying to, just sleep through is because I know for a fact that I want my channel to grow. And it's not just enough that I want my channel to grow, it's what I'm going to do after my channel grows. I'm going to support my kid properly. I'm only 21 and I have a kid. Take it as you may. I want to support my family better. I want to become more financially free, and I want to build a strong brand so I can sell even just through my face. That's literally the strongest why I am consistent with YouTube. I want to build a strong brand that will enable me to look after my family. I am an entrepreneur and I do run an agency in the background which supports my income. But the thing is, I do this because I want to be credible for long enough time frame in order for me to gain new clients, to gain more experiences, to basically amplify my way of life. I know if you're not a YouTuber, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but let's get out of the cloud for a second. If you are working towards something with your full focus, let's say for instance you're trying to build your agency, right? What is the motivation right now to get up your lazy ass and start sending cold DMs or start making cold calls, right? Cold calls are very boring. For me to reach my business where I've reached it, it required me to do hours and hours of cold calls, hours and hours of cold DMs. But how did I stay motivated even without the motivation? It's simple. You need to find the motivation from within. There are two types of motivation. There is intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is the motivation that you find from deep within yourself. The reason why you want this particular thing to work. Extrinsic motivation is motivation from external factors. Oh, Andrew Tate called you a loser for not grinding. Then you get fired up and start working. That's extrinsic motivation. You see, Iman Gaji just bought a new Bentley and you want a Bentley yourself. That's extrinsic motivation. But that motivation is not sustainable. Of course, all of us do need extrinsic motivation every now and then, including me myself, including all of the people who you look up to: Hamza, Iman Gaji, Alex Hormozi, Leila Hormozi. All of these people look to extrinsic motivation to get fired up. It would be a lie if they told you they didn't. But the main thing that makes them where they are is they choose to have the intrinsic motivation to go towards their passion with this vigor and this passion, so that they can achieve what they've always wanted, so that it can materialize. Because if it comes from within you, nobody can take it away from you. If you can't find that motivation from deep within yourself to pursue what you want to pursue, then what you're trying to pursue is meaningless to you. You won't achieve it. But if from deep within your heart, that's why they say people who become successful are people who have experienced an existential crisis, right? Where maybe they have this business as the only way they can get out of financial hurdles. They feel like if they don't make it work, then they are doomed forever, right? Then that's motivation from within them. They understand that if they don't make this business work, if they don't do what is required to get out of their financial situation or their location situation, if they don't work hard, then, they're doomed. If you are comfortable with your current situation, you can still wake up, you can still play jokes, you can still scroll on TikTok, you can still doom scroll on YouTube shorts, then, you don't have enough purpose for you to get up your lazy ass and actually start working. You need to actually believe that if you don't make it work, then you are doomed, quite frankly. If you don't make it work, you have no alternative. Even if you go to school, right? You study, you are struggling to get motivated to get up your lazy ass, open a book and study. You don't have enough intrinsic motivation to actually pass those exams. If you strongly believe that your future will be complete if you just graduate and while you're running your online business, of course, you graduate, you have that degree, and you know for certain that this is actually going to set you in the direction that you want in life, then you are not going to feel demotivated to study. You're not going to need some self-improvement YouTuber to jump in front of you on screen and tell you to say it's important for you to study so that you can get good grades. You're going to want to do that on your own, because you know for a fact that if you don't study, you're going to fail your exams. If you don't work on your business, you're going to be behind in business and your competitors are going to bypass you. Also, you're also going to be in the same financial situation that you currently hate, that you currently are in. So if you just don't do the work, then you're not going to get the outcome that you want. So back to the question, how to stay motivated when there is no motivation? Basically, you need to look for what motivates you beyond what you see. You need to look from within yourself. Take all the pain that you're going through. This can only work if you're in pain about your current situation. Take all the pain and use it to build the life that you have always wanted. Take that pain and use it to build the life that you have always wanted. If you don't have the pain, then the thing that you can do is not focus on not being motivated. The main thing in entrepreneurship is just moving the needle forward. It doesn't matter if you move the needle 1 meter forward, if you move the needle 5 meters forward, if you move the needle 1 kilometer further. It doesn't matter as long as you are just moving the needle forward. It all depends with how quickly you want the effects to be. If you want your financial situation currently to be over because you really hate it, then you're not going to have time to be demotivated. You're going to work 24/7 to make sure this dream of yours becomes a reality. If you're in so much pain that you want to finish school as soon as possible so you can get that degree as soon as possible, so you no longer have to study, then you're going to grind and study as hard as you can. Because if you study as hard as you can, you're going to complete school as hard as you can, and you're no longer going to be in the same pain. So this can only work if you're in pain about something. As motivation, all that I'm going to tell you is, number one, if you don't work hard, to achieve your business goals, somebody else somewhere else is going to work just as hard or even harder than you and take all the money that was supposed to be given to you. And also is going to take your future wife, because your future wife wants somebody who is more financially free. Think about that. If you're feeling less motivated to study, then what I'm going to tell you is you're going to fail. You're going to fail your exams if you don't want to study. The only way you can pass your exams and get your degree is if you study. And if you don't study because you feel demotivated, then quite frankly, you're going to fail. Make sure to click the subscribe button if this video resonated with you in any way, and make a comment down below because I like to read those. And also you can give me one of these, especially if your spirits allow you to. But in the meantime, I want you to watch this video next, because this video is a really nice video and I really want you to see it next.